Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, this morning I was on Facebook and I saw this article from Billboard about Kanye West announcing that he was going to run for president. I just want to share my thoughts about this particular article and just talk about Kanye West in general. So, Kanye West on Twitter put out this tweet where he said, "We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I'm running for president of the United States." And he has this USA flag and he has hashtag 2020 vision. And I just want to share my thoughts about this announcement, explain why I will not ever support Kanye West for president, and just share my thoughts about Kanye West in general as an artist and just as a person. In terms of his artistry, in terms of his music, I'm a Kanye West fan. I've been listening to his music since he first came out. Even before he came out as an individual artist, I appreciated all the tracks that he produced. This man has produced classic albums from other artists like Jay-Z, and he's produced his own classics. So he's somebody that I respect as a musical genius. He has done a lot of great things in his musical career. He's a media genius as well for keeping his name out there and remaining relevant through everything. People constantly talk about Kanye West, and this is just another example of that. So I appreciate his hustle. And then he announced that he had some deal with Gap where he's making a lot of money. And I think there was an announcement in one of those magazines, Forbes or whatever, saying that he's now a billionaire. So, I mean, those kind of achievements are achievements that should be celebrated and recognized. And I recognize those achievements. I appreciate, his musical gifts. I appreciate his hustle and what he's been able to accomplish. But I would never support Kanye West for president. And I'm just going to run through some of the reasons why I would not support him for president. Number one, he's mentally ill. He suffers from bipolar condition, and he's talked about this before. Do you really want somebody in the White House that suffers from some severe mental illness? He suffers from bipolar condition. Do you really want somebody like that having control over the United States nuclear arsenal, being the commander in chief over military forces? So that's one thing. Number two, he lacks any political experience. This man hasn't been a city councilman. This man hasn't been a mayor. This man hasn't been a state senator, a state representative, a congressman, a senator. This man hasn't been any kind of political person at all in his whole life. And you're going to entrust somebody like this to run the highest office in the land. And we see what that has gotten us when we look at Donald Trump, a man who has zero experience. He is a disaster. Donald Trump is a disaster. And I know that Kanye West will be a disaster as well if he's elected. Um, so here's another reason why I would never support him. He supports Donald Trump. This man was running around with a Make America Great Again hat on, you know, acting like a fanboy when he went to visit Donald Trump, despite the fact that Donald Trump is openly hostile to the interests of black people. Despite all of that, despite Donald Trump being a complete buffoon and idiot, despite Donald Trump, you know, um, having a disastrous response to this COVID 19 pandemic, you had this man, Kanye West, running around here celebrating Donald Trump, running around here with a Donald Trump hat on, running around here basically campaigning for Donald Trump. So I can't support that. And I'll just run through some of the things with Donald Trump. I mean, we know that he's hostile to affirmative action. We know that he tried to get rid of those consent decrees with those police departments consent decrees that were designed to eliminate police brutality and racial profiling and other problems in police departments. We know about his voter fraud commission, which was designed to suppress black voters. We know about his statements about black people being, just black people being stupid. Only black people can live like this. We know about his statements dealing with the NFL protesters, uh, calling them sons of bitches. We know about his hostility to Black Lives Matter, this whole movement to end police brutality. He has referred to them as a hate group. This man has condoned uh, white supremacists, said that they were some very fine people. That's who Donald Trump is, and that's who Kanye West supported. So that's one of the reasons why I would never vote for Kanye West. Also, Kanye West said that he likes the way somebody like a Candace Owens thinks. That alone should disqualify him from running for office and for being, even considered. Because Candace Owens, we know that she is a complete disaster when it comes to issues of race. This woman has said you know, uh, derogatory things about George Floyd, about Black Lives Matter. She pretends like racism doesn't exist anymore. That's Candace Owens. That's the man that Kanye West says that he likes the way she thinks. That's a woman who referred to black people as chimpanzees, saying that we respond like chimpanzees. This is a woman who constantly denigrates black people, basically saying that we're emotional, illogical, irrational, and all that other stuff. That's who this man says that he likes how she thinks. Also, Kanye West has had his own controversies, not only based on who he's been affiliated with, but his own things. This is a man who had the audacity to say that slavery sounds like a choice. Slavery sounds like a choice. Like our ancestors voluntarily uh, subjected themselves or allowed themselves to be subjected to years of enslavement, years of brutality, years of being beaten, whipped, raped, stripped of our culture and all that kind of stuff. He thinks that that was some kind of choice on the part of black people to be in that kind of condition. Another thing is this man actually sold Confederate clothes. At this time when we are in the process of, as a nation, taking down these images and symbols of racism and oppression, you had this man having the audacity to run for office when he was literally making money off of Confederate items, selling Confederate items. And we know what the Confederacy represents. It represents the defense of slavery. It represents the defense of white supremacy. It represents the oppression of black people, the enslavement of black people, the raping of black people, the ripping of black families apart. That's what the Confederacy represents, and that's what this man chose to make money off of by selling Confederate items. Another thing is this man has no respect for black women, and this man, an example of that would be him taking out, like putting out a modeling ad for one of his videos or for his clothing or whatever, where he said that he only wanted multiracial women only, meaning he didn't want any black women. He wants, biracial women, lighter women. That's what this man put out there. So somebody like this, as far as I'm concerned, is not fit to run for president. And I really hope, I'm sure that this won't go any further. I'm sure that he will not be president. I would hope that people would have sense enough not to vote for somebody simply because they like their music. I would hope that people would look at this thing seriously. And as far as I'm concerned, this probably more likely than not is just another one of his publicity stunts. It's probably just another example of his narcissism, his need for constant attention. And we know that this comes shortly after he put out his song, this recent song that he did with Travis Scott, um, about washing in the blood or whatever. So this is nothing but a publicity stunt, more likely than not, and I would hope that that's just the case. But again, for the reasons that I've stated before, I would never vote for Kanye West for president. And I'm really interested in hearing from you. Would you vote for Kanye West? Why or why not? Peace and blessings, everyone. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a great day.